In February of 2024, Christian Brueckner appeared in a German court in Braunschweig, charged with 3 counts of aggravated rape and 2 counts of sexual exposure abuse. The prosecution withdrew one of these charges during the trial. One of the victims is Hazel Behan, an Irish travel representative in our Praia da Rocha apartment in 2004. She was the only victim in the case who waived her anonymity in the trial. Brueckner was also charged with the alleged rape of a teenage girl, then aged 14, in his home, and also raping an elderly woman. The 2 counts of sexual exposure concerned a 10-year-old German girl on a beach at Salema and an 11-year-old Portuguese girl at Bartolomeu de Messines playground. The charges came about as a result of German investigations into the case and disappearance of Madeleine McCann in Portugal in May 2007. Brueckner is currently serving the final year of a 7-year sentence for the 2005 rape of a 72-year-old American tourist staying in a Portuguese resort. He is due to be released from a German prison in spring to late summer 2025. Now, the trial has concluded, and I said I would give you an update, but only when the trial concluded. The trial lasted more than 8 months, with periods when court sittings were suspended for lengthy legal arguments and challenges to witness and case evidence introduced by the German State Prosecution Office. Ultimately, just gone this week, on Tuesday, October the 8th, 2024, a panel of 3 judges led by Ute Engman ruled in favour of the defence, which had argued there was insufficient credible evidence to convict him on the charges. The German state prosecutor has said they will file an appeal to overturn the verdict. Throughout the trial, Brueckner's defence lawyer, Friedrich Fulcher, argued repeatedly that the prosecution case was based on dubious witness testimonies, video evidence alluded to, but that no one has been able to find, the absence of any forensic evidence, and a deliberate attempt by the state prosecutor to wage public opinion against his defendant by naming him as a suspect in the disappearance of British child Madeleine McCann in 2005. Now, just as a qualifier, under German law, German nationals accused of crimes in other countries, such as Portugal, where Brueckner spent many years, can be tried in their own home country, Germany. Brueckner is currently in Oldenburg jail and due to be released as early as next spring. I stated earlier this year, when we did a profile of Christian Brueckner, and you can see the link to that in the card appearing here on screen, and also it's linked in the description of this video, that we would provide an update when the case concluded. I want to repeat what I said about the upcoming trial, that these charges against Brueckner had no direct relation with the McCann case, but British and international media would make it exactly that. However, what I didn't expect was the German prosecutor's state office to do the same for much of the 8-month trial, to the detriment of the plaintiffs, 2 women and a 14-year-old teenage girl, as well as 2 young children. The trial descended into a clumsy test case and a parading of witnesses who will no doubt be called upon again should the state prosecutor ever file charges against Brueckner in the Madeleine McCann case. After this debacle, it remains to be seen how many of those 46 witnesses will be so eager to step forward next time around. In essence, the trial became a media circus and the state prosecutor's office became the real emperor with no clothes. A show and tell trial with little to show, but lots to whisper and tell by witnesses who already had an axe to grind against Brueckner for previous lives as friends, girlfriends, prison inmates, and the seedy life they shared with him since he was 18 years of age. The real double victims were Hazel Behan, the elderly woman the 14-year-old teenager and the 2 young children, all pawns who must have felt they would finally see justice. None of that happened. It was, in short, a clumsy showcase trial by the German prosecutor playing bluff, who claims he's all the aces in the pack of cards, but is yet to reveal a single one.
The decision today is not surprising. We believe that the decision is wrong, so we will appeal to the Bundesgerichtshof, the German Supreme Court, so the Supreme Court can check the verdict for mistakes. The ruling has no direct impact to the Medi case because the findings of this court are not binding. So Christian Bill will stay in prison till September 25, and we will see if we have the possibility for a new arrest warrant in the next summer. But I can't say if the evidence in the Medi case will be enough for an arrest warrant in the Medi case. Maybe we will get the decision of the Supreme Court till next summer, and then we have the possibility to ask for another arrest warrant for the cases which are part of the investigation or of the trial today.
The German paedophile, who is considered the main suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, has been cleared of sexual offences relating to other children in Portugal and of 3 rapes. A woman who has waived her anonymity to say she was one of Christian Brueckner's victims told us she had been left shattered by the German judge's verdict. German prosecutors could bring charges against Brueckner over Madeleine McCann's death next year.
Christian Brueckner, paedophile and sexual predator, and the prime suspect in the Madeleine McCann case, today cleared of a string of violent rapes and sexual abuse in the part of Portugal where Madeleine went missing. Hazel was one of the women who told the German court Christian Brueckner raped her.
Every ounce of blood, it just rushes to your feet. It kind of nearly paralyses you, like that fear that I hope I never feel again.
She was just 20 and a holiday rep in Portugal at the time she was attacked by a masked man.
Do you believe that Christian Brueckner was the man that attacked you?
I really do. I really, really do. He had piercing blue eyes. Oh, they bore into my head. They're there. They're imprinted on who I am. They'll never leave. Spend hours in a room with somebody who is absolutely torturing you, and all you can see is their eyes. By God, you better believe I'll remember them. I made sure I'd remember them. I see them. I can see them every time I close my eyes.
What's your reaction to today's verdict?
I'm shattered. You know, I'm really, really broken.
Brueckner moved to Portugal from Germany in 1995 after being convicted of child sexual offences. German authorities caught up with him in 1999. After serving time in Germany, he returned to Portugal. In 2005, he raped an American pensioner in Praia da Rocha. 2 years later, Madeleine McCann disappeared from the same resort. Brueckner then returned to Germany in 2017 to serve a sentence for child sexual abuse. In 2019, he was convicted for the 2005 rape of the American woman in Portugal. Today, after he was found not guilty of the current charges, Brueckner's lawyers suggested he was only on trial because he was a suspect in Madeleine McCann's case.
Here to discuss how German officials are desperately trying to keep Christian B behind bars, joined by German journalist Jutta Rapp. First, Jutta, can you recap for us the allegations Christian B has today been cleared of?
Yeah. At the first place was the rape. Number 1 was like a 14-year-old girl. Then the rape number 2 was an elderly lady, supposing the English, as the witnesses said. Then Hazel Behan, an Irish student who was brutally raped and also tortured for hours in her apartment at the Algarve. And then there was 2 allegations of for molesting children, more or less, making sexual actions in front of them, masturbating and so on, at the beach of Salema and in the city of Messines. That's all at the Algarve in Portugal.
Okay, so he's been cleared of these allegations, which were investigated by the same team that are investigating Madeleine McCann's disappearance. But they were brought as an entirely separate case?
Yeah.
Can you tell us why this case matters to the McCann case, please?
Yeah, it matters very much because some of the witnesses will also testify in the Madeleine McCann case. And they tested now, of course, the prosecution tested, first of all, their reliability, but then also how they are received by a judge. Everything was here a little bit special and a little bit unusual because I don't see the same argumentation that the judge was seeing today by clearing him of all this. There were very, very good witnesses, but you will never have in a situation like this that two witnesses are saying absolutely identical things. Everybody observes things differently. And if there was a detail only different, the judge here said that was inconsistent.
So do you think she put too much emphasis on those slight discrepancies?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And Christian B remains behind bars now, despite being fully cleared of all charges today. That's because of a 2019 conviction for rape, which runs until next year, I believe. Can you tell us when he might be released?
Yeah, it can be that is September next year already, 25. It might be that he gets a tiny little sentence on top of that for misbehaving in the prison, but it could be, and I only have to say the prosecution must speed up now very much with either coming forward with the Medi case, or then the appeal they will definitely make against this verdict.
So prosecutors have told us they are determined to do whatever it takes to keep Christian B behind bars.
Yeah.
I think you've touched on it there. Can you tell us what the options open to them are for keeping this man behind bars?
They have only these two options. One option is to come forward with the Medi case and speak out the accusation, the official accusation, charge him. And that means also they have to open up all the files they have, some 20,000 pages, also to the defense team that they have tried to avoid so far out of tactical reasons. But then they have to do it. But they can come forward with that every day when they want. And when they see that there's a danger, he would come out of prison otherwise. And then they have the appeal. They don't want to go the normal way of the appeal.
I think they're going for the appeal first. Is that right?
Yes, they go for the appeal first. This is what they say, but we don't know how successful that will be. But they will go to the highest, the prime court in Germany.
The Supreme Court?
Supreme Court directly, and that's very unusual because they will fight not the verdict in details. They will say everything was done not appropriate to German legal practice.
Okay. And what powers do the German Supreme Court have if they agree to an appeal on this case?
Oh, they can put in a rerun. Complete retrial. Retrial, yeah, exactly. Okay. Completely done new with all the witnesses coming up again, but only with a totally different court.
And is that prosecutor's preference to have a retrial and use that to keep Christian B behind bars?
I think so, yes.
Under a new arrest warrant? Okay. But there is the potential this appeal may not be finished in time, in which case they would have to move to the...
Yeah, they have to move to Plan B, and Plan B is really coming forward with the charge of in the Madeleine McCann case. Yeah.
So we could potentially see charges brought on the McCann case as soon as next year.
I'm more or less calculating on that for sure. Yeah.